The electric grid is an interconnected network consisting of three main components. Power plants, as shown in the image, use sources such as coal or hydropower to produce electricity. Transmission lines carry electricity from the power plants, and transformers that reduce voltage so distribution lines can carry power to the home. First developed in the late 1800s as insular systems that only service their particular geographic areas, the electric grid now is mostly one large system comprising more than 300,000 miles of power lines, depicted in blue in this image. As you can see from the map, more rural communities, especially those in Alaska and Hawaii, are not connected to the system. These communities usually rely on local diesel generators. The downside to a widely connected grid is the possibility of cascading power failure. For example, a blackout in Ohio can reach all the way to New York, as it did in 2003. The grid will continue to expand. The added yellow lines here are proposed lines intended to supplement the system. This map shows the conceptual plan for a national grid designed to carry wind power. But wind power isn't the only, or even a very popular, source of production for our electricity. Sources like coal are more popular, but also more dangerous to our environment. This image shows where coal is used to generate electricity. The darker states heavily rely on coal for the production of their electricity. West Virginia is the most dependent. 98% of its electricity is fueled by it. The U.S. is so dependent on coal more than any other source because it is abundantly available here in the States. West Virginia alone sits on more than 30 billion tons of coal. This map depicts the nation's reliance on natural gas. Darker states, like Alaska and Texas, depend heavily on natural gas for the production of at least half of their electricity. Rhode Island uses gas to generate 98% of its electricity. This image shows which states rely on nuclear power. Vermont, which uses it to generate 71% of its electricity, is the U.S. state most dependent on nuclear power. As you can see from this chart, coal, nuclear power, and natural gas together account for 86% of all U.S. electricity produced, while cheaper and more environmental-friendly renewable resources, such as hydropower and wind power, only account for 13% of electricity generated. Because electricity must constantly be produced, these energy sources must constantly be consumed, making electricity production a significant part of the overall U.S. energy landscape.